I'm joined here by one of our friends, Liran, and we're here to talk about a number of different things that he does. You know, we're filming this now. We're getting towards the second half of 2019. We're going to be, you know, the stock market's at an all-time high, real estate market's at an all-time high. So the question people always ask me is like, what's next? How long can it last? And, you know, so I'd like to talk a little bit about that. We'll tell them a little bit about you and what products and services you offer. Value with
Hi,
them.
everybody. My name is Liran Koren. I've been doing real estate for 10 years, mainly buying off-market properties at the auction. And what I tell people is very simple. You know, even back in 2009, 2010, it was uncertainty. So even when I bought at cheap prices, you know, I didn't know if the market is going to go down, going to go up. So my solution to that was that you have to focus on equity. Meaning that when you buy properties, when you invest in properties, you're going to have some sort of a safety net. Meaning that that's going to help you less speculate, because if the market is going to shift down, if you got a property with 20% down discount, then you can move it or you can sell it and you can slightly lose or make some profit if the market goes down. So what I suggest people is actually to focus in off-market properties and knowing how to recognize problems that can create equity for you.
Right.
And that can happen in many, many ways. I mean, you can go and find pre-foreclosures, and you can go and find probates, and you can go and find estates, and you can make your offers, because those people don't really care about the prices. They just want to liquidize the properties. And this way you can have inventory that's it's less risky than going on the market and buying a property that is priced retail, right? When you price retail, you actually have to wait to build equity. What happens if in 2 years the market is going to shift down? Then it's going to eliminate all of your equity. So what I tell people, one of the most important things for me in real estate, when I buy real estate, is to buy those properties with some sort of equity and having some sort of an advantage over your competition. And how can you have advantage over your competition? I use data for that. If you know how to search for data and find properties that have a problem, and you know how to solve it, that's where you bring your value into the table, and that's where they can actually use a title company that can verify this information, because I use title company. I'm going to do my title search, I'm going to do my preliminary title search, and I'm going to use my tools, but in the end of the day, I'm going to call you guys, and I'm going to ask you, is everything I found is correct? Please tell me it's correct. You know, I'm going to pay you whatever you want, because your information is going to make my deal happen, or I'm going to lose money. So title is one of the most important things, okay, when you invest in real estate, especially when you invest in off-market real estate. So you don't want to speculate. You don't want to say, I'm buying a property today thinking in 2 years it's going to increase in price. That's speculation. You don't know if that's going to happen. In 2010, everybody was scared. The prices was very cheap, but everybody was scared. I was there. I didn't know if I did good, okay? So, you know, since then, prices doubled, even tripled. But that means that your risk has increased as well, doubled or tripled. So you really have to be conservative at this point. That's what I tell my people.
Absolutely, yeah.
You have to be conservative.
So we wrote the book Rescue Your Business, this book here, and it came out earlier in the year, and we wrote about it because we wanted to teach people the crash. We wanted to teach people how we survived the crash. So a lot of what you're talking about, added value, buying at a good price, you know, not overextending yourself, picking up off-market properties. You know, these are the strategies that they need to know. So when, it's not if the crash happens, because it's a cycle, it's when the crash happens, they're going to position themselves into a place where they're still going to be here after the market. So they're going to be here in the up, they're going to be there in the down. We went from doing 3 closings to 30 closings, back down to 3 closings, back up to 100 closings. So it's how do you survive and position yourself? So this way people say, you know, when the market crashes, what are you going to do? I say, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to add value to a different client. So it may not be the same client that we're working with today. It's going to be someone different.
Or maybe not the same niche. Maybe you're going to have to change your niche.
Exactly.
Maybe all of a sudden you have to go after people that are going through foreclosure or short sales, you know, because they leverage themselves too much, because prices are 2 or 3 times the price that 10 years ago was maybe 70% less than what it's today.
Right.
So the risk by default is higher. When there is prosperity and there is growth and there is a lot of people buying real estate, it's like a domino effect, that's where I get worried about it, you know, because with everybody is doing the same thing, you know, I call it most of that, I call it sometimes stupid money. Okay, when you just do what everybody is doing, expecting the result to be the same every single time and never change, this is where you get carried away. Okay, this is where you're gonna overpay. This is where you're not gonna look at the risk. You're only gonna look at what you're gonna make, and that's the worst thing to look at real estate. When you invest in real estate, you have to look at your principal first of all. You wanna keep your principal. You don't wanna lose your 100% principal when you invest. When you think about making 20% profit or 25% profit, and that's the only thing you think of, you're actually risking your principal. So you have to make sure that you are position yourself on the right property on the right time, and you're buying it at the right price. And today there is the assumption that there is no inventory, and it's very hard to find real estate, and the listings are shrinking. Nobody can get all of it. So that's even create a situation where people are even paying more, which is more scary, because in the end of the day, they're gonna have to pay it back. And things in life change. What happens if you're gonna lose your job in a year or two? Okay, when you're buying property, you're buying it for 30 years. Okay, you're not buying, or if you leverage yourself, you're buying it for 30 years. You don't know what's gonna happen. Okay, so you really have to think about your risk, not just about your potential profit in real estate.